Yes, welcome back to the Sports Show. Probably time to turn our attention to boxing, so let's get to an expert. 2012 Olympian Johan Linde's been good enough to come in. Johan, great to see you.
Thank you, thanks for having me.
You know what, it's funny, when you see a bloke boxing on TV, you think, you know what, I move all right, I reckon, and then he lines up next to me, I think, I wouldn't have a chance. And what the
We
hell?
kept putting my seat down.
Yeah,
Mate, I'm actually up
He
here.
was up right over here. I said, mate, put it down a little bit. There you go, all right.
Yeah,
You're
good,
looking good shape.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm getting to the gym maybe 1 or 2 days a week if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
I don't, red wine maybe. I enjoy a glass of red every night after work.
Heavyweights are coming back into vogue at the moment in the boxing world, mate. Do you like that?
Loving it. Heavyweights are back. So I mean, look, when was it? Probably Iron Mike, early mid '90s was really when the heavyweights. Klitschko's great. Lennox Lewis was great, but they weren't exciting. Now you got Anthony Joshua. He's taken out the old fella, and what a fight! Like that's going to be one they're going to look back at. That'll be one of the great fights in the heavyweight.
Amazing.
What's the best heavyweight fight you've seen? Sorry.
Well, you put me on the spot. That one.
Yeah.
And the Rumble in the Jungle. So George Foreman, Ali.
Yeah.
The difference. See, here's the thing though. So the Rumble in the Jungle. Ali had the strategy and got him. In this one, Joshua knocked Klitschko down, the old fella in the 5th.
Yes.
Klitschko came back and knocked him down in the 6th.
Yes.
And then it was on. Then it's like, who's going to take it? So it had that extra dynamic element to it. So it's one of the best fights ever.
I've loved watching boxing over the ages, and so much so, my son's called Tyson. 30 years old. He was named after Iron Mike because he was just unbelievable when he came on the scene.
Yeah.
Then I've got my brother who's names his daughter Layla after Layla Ali and Lennox after Lennox Lewis because we grew up loving, martial arts.
This is legitimate.
This is legitimate.
True story.
So I grew up in a family that loved martial arts.
Has he got the tattoo as well, your son?
No, like that. But I tell you, I almost changed his name to Buster though when he went down. But he, it's brought so much excitement. Although in recent years, of course, UFC sort of emerged out of nowhere and taken the mantle. But you're right. All of a sudden, this guy from UK has come on and put a bit of excitement into it. That must give you a bit of a buzz as well.
Well, I love it. It's just because, look, all the people that love boxing, they're purists. They love it. UFC, it's good, and I can see that it's a highly skilled sport.
Yes.
It's just, it's just too, to me, it's too violent. And I know it sounds kind of funny as a boxer saying that, but to me, it just seems a bit brutal. Whereas boxing can be brutal, but it's almost like that art type of brutal, as it's dramatic, as opposed to that raw, life kind of brutal.
Life or death type brutal.
Yeah, and that's what it seems like to me. And you talk to the purists that love boxing, they all, think that same way.
You said you fought 2012. The gold medal winner in 2012 was the guy that now champion of the world. You would have seen him up front and personal, I'm sure.
I felt him up front and personal, and I don't want to feel him again.
No, he's all right. He punches pretty hard.
It hurts, Look, he is let me put it this way. If he wasn't in Team GB for the UK, you would think that he was on some steroid genetic peptide program because he is a freak. So he was as lean as I was. So I'm a pretty lean heavyweight.
Yes.
I put on a bit now, but I was very lean back then.
Yes.
He had my body fat, so probably wouldn't be about 5, 6, 7% body fat, but had 10 kilos on me. Wow. So he was as bulky as the bigger guys that had more fat on him. He had it all. And you just think, how is this possible?
So what weight's a heavyweight? What weight's that start
well, plus 91.
Plus, okay, all right.
Yeah.
When you talk about him, though, Johan, big, powerful unit, sometimes we don't realise how much speed they've got as well, do we? So he had it all?
Yeah, lightning.
Had
absolutely
speed and
lightning.
Power.
Yeah. And that's the thing, that's that perfect blend of, look at like Mike Tyson, he was borderline bodybuilder build back in the day, but, it's all technique, isn't it? It's all... I like to compare, this is a funny one, but to me, boxing is just like tennis or golf. It's not about your physical, it's all about technique. Okay. And then once you add on that 10% extra of being that big build, that's just that 10% that
So I'm a good tennis player. Do you reckon I could take you on then? Because I'm a good tennis player.
Well, might take Smythe on.
No, I wouldn't take either one of you on. Hey, but do you miss that one-on-one? To me, I think it would be the most intimidating place to be in a boxing ring.
There's nowhere to hide.
There is nowhere to hide, but a mistake can literally cost you your health in a lot of ways. Whereas in tennis or other sports, you play a bad shot and you get an opportunity. It's
true. Yep.
In boxing,
and you lose and you walk off at the end.
Well, that's right, and that's why I just find it. That is, I think, probably one of its attractions, but one of my biggest fears is to do that.
That's why you leave no stone unturned in terms of training. It's all like Ali said it, it happens in the gym.
Yeah.
You can't hide. You can't go on the corner and cower. Your coach can't come in and do something. It's you.
Yes.
No stone unturned, and that's why boxers are probably, I'm a bit biased, but I think they're up there with one of the best athletes in the world in terms of the training and the dynamics that they have.
I think physically and mentally. I think mentally you have to be unbelievably tough to want to get in the ring and do that. And then all that aside, you talked about you can do all your preparation in the ring. Your game plan could be perfect. Then one lucky punch from the guy you're fighting.
That's true.
And the dynamics have changed dramatically.
But you create your own luck in life, don't you? So
Absolutely.
You've got to be ready.
Yep.
And that's the thing. So I know Teddy Atlas, the great trainer from America, said boxing's 100% mental.
Yeah.
It's an exaggeration, but there's something to that because it's all in your head at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Most people have a fear of that, though. The AFL right now is bringing in all kinds of rules for concussion, new rules to protect the head and stuff like that. Boxing, and I guess Muhammad, because he was such a high profile, and there's no real line in that's what caused his Parkinson. It was a theory, and some people said yes and others said no. So there was never concrete evidence to that. But for you now, 28 years of age, I mean, you've taken a few whacks over the journey.
Thanks, I'm 33, so
33,
I must be doing something.
You're doing great.
Hair and makeup did a good job.
Yeah, they did a wonderful job. Sorry, mate. 33 now.
No, I'll take that any day.
You've taken some hits over the journey.
I have, yeah.
Do you feel you're as smart as you were at any other stage?
Smarter.
Yeah, I'm probably smarter now, but that's because I'm getting older and wiser. So, no, you're completely right. And it was a concern of mine kind of coming through. You got to just manage taking that punishment. Look, the two times I've been knocked out the worst, once was playing rugby when I was in year 10 in high school.
Yes.
Took a knee to the head, woke up and could see the blue sky going, what happened?
Yeah.
And the other was footy when I was playing in the country league maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And I went down and again, knee in the head, woke up and going, what happened? That time it was a cloudy day. And no, so dead set. So I can see how these sports like rugby and footy and American footy, they're so dangerous because it's the boxing, you've got the glove. So but in those sports, you've got like a joint, like a knee, bang. That's it.
Have you found yourself in a spot of bother outside of the ring in public life, or do you?
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
But people see you and challenge you. There's no question.
I don't go to nightclubs on Saturday night anymore, so that's
But you did.
But did you find yourself?
When I was younger, yeah, I did.
Because you're like, I mean, you'd have to be half crazy to take you on because you're built.
Yeah, but when you've had a few, you tend to be a bit half crazy sometimes if you're that way inclined.
True.
So yeah, look, I did have that kind of trouble when I was younger.
Yes.
How'd
you go?
Yeah, well, you just walk away, like Yeah, like no. I mean, look, you have a bit of rough and tumble in high school, and that was before I was really boxing seriously. I can't really think of.
So what got you into boxing then? You played footy. You played.
Yeah, I played. Growing up, played everything. Dead set. Would have been basketball, hockey. I remember playing Minky in year 3, and cricket. Used to get up early and play basketball. I used to love watching 36ers. And I remember that was a great era back then. When I was growing up and watching you and taking the boys.
I looked like I was 33 then.
I think. Well, I guess there's two elements. One, the team sports are great, but there was something about individual sports that really drove me. I really love tennis. I really love golf.
Okay.
Something about just you. You can't rely on anyone else. It's only up to you. So there was something that drew me to that. And then also growing up when I was about 15, 16, I started getting in a bit of trouble and going off. You kind of say I guess the wrong track. I didn't have a father. He passed away when I was very young.
Right.
So that kind of male role model to guide me wasn't quite there. So I had to kind of tread my own path a bit.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, boxing showed up at that time.
Good on you.
I think me and my best mate in high school, we were in actually just down the road here, down at North Moriata High.
Yeah.
Year 10 it would have been. Me and Stefan Taylor just decided it'd be cool to do boxing. Rang up one gym, didn't answer the phone. Rang up ASG Boxing Club. Colin Betty answered, said, "Yeah, come on in, mate." And next thing you know, I'm still there, still at the same gym.
Hey, look, I tell you what, I want to go to a break because normally we'd try and wrap it up, but I think there's just too much to do.
Okay,
so we can get a part 2 here. I'm confident. So we'll take a break. Stay with us. You might have to watch next week to see the continuation of Johan. Back in a moment. Yes, welcome back to the Sports Show. We're nearly at the close now, Poppy. Let's have a quick look at the Crows. A week ago, unbeatable, unbreakable, unstoppable to unrealistically poor in the first quarter.
Can you believe what we were seeing?
Yes.
Well, how could you? You would never have picked it.
Yes.
Well, how could you have picked it?
All right, we sat here a few weeks ago and I said to you off air, the Port Adelaide Footy Club pushed them for 2 quarters and a half of the third quarter.
Yes.
So they had found the underbelly somewhere in there.
Yes.
Richmond, who we said aren't all that good, held them for a quarter. So I said to you, teams are starting to find out a method
Yes.
on how to slow the Crows down. Someone's going to find the system that stops it completely out. Two things happened, I reckon.
Yep.
The players went to Hobart, which is a magnificent setting. I don't know
Yes.
if you've been there. I think the players got there and they went, wow, here's the footy ground. We're having a coffee. I think they were a little bit nearly in holiday mode.
Yes.
Thinking. They were seduced by the
Kangaroos
media.
have come to play.
Well, and we know that the Kangaroos are a darn tough team. So I think they exposed them. Better to be exposed now
Sure.
than in round 20. I think they'll bounce back. And again, the expectation was so high that the fall seemed so great. I don't think it's that bad.
Well, let's hope not, because the thought that they were unbeatable after 5 rounds, that they'd go through this year unbeatable, was ridiculous, and it proved to be within 7 days. And so I just hate that extra pressure. But when you're at the top of the table, you've got to be prepared for that pressure.
Yes.
They didn't come to play, and I don't know how at this level you can't come to play.
I agree with that.
I don't understand that.
Richard Douglas made a comment that our effort and our attitude wasn't right.
What? How can that be right?
I spoke to Tyson Edwards during the week. 321 games he played.
Yes.
Absolute champion. I said, was there ever a time you came to a game with your effort and attitude not right? He said, I can't recall one.
No, that's right.
And I wouldn't have been able to recall one of his either. So I
How
agree
can you
with you.
turn up against the side of the Kangaroos who have always given you trouble in the last decade after you've won 5 in a row without those 2 basic principles of being a professional
All right,
sportsman?
2 things are going to happen. Expect Rory Sloane to get a lot more attention than he
Sure.
normally gets. I think he's carrying a bit of soreness. I think he was a bit slowed down in that
Yep.
game. But clearly they have said, we're going to bring in a tagger. Expect to see taggers become a quick part of the game. We're getting the wind-up from the man at the helm.
So let's maybe talk about Shanghai next
Fantastic.
week after the game.
Fantastic. I reckon it's great. Take the game global.
Whatever. You know what? Let's just see how it goes. Take the game global. We've been to New Zealand.
Put them up, Johan. Put them up for this fella and pow! Right in the kisser. Hope you can stay with us next week. Everybody, join us again. Bye for now.
You're crazy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll